right. Yep. Testing. All right. Okay. Now back to what I was talking about. My little loss of footage incident. I was very upset about that. The main reason was because I was addressing a situation where a guy commented on one of my videos that I'd done a couple of years ago about the little Chinese BD250 I had, the Boom BD250. 250-5 or whatever it was, little bike that I brought just to get back into riding. And the guy was saying how horrible of a bike it was. Now, I've gotten a few comments from people that have owned that bike, and some of the comments were pretty similar, you know, where some people had similar issues with the bike. And in all honesty, aside from the bike just being, I guess, too slow for me once I got used to it, you know, I grew out of it pretty quick. I didn't have any issues with the bike, no stalling, let me see, it idled fine. Of course, I did do some things to the bike though. I took the air box out and just put a quad filter on it. I replaced the T-map sensor that came with the bike. And let me see, changed the exhaust on the bike. And even though the little cheap Chinese bike, I always ran 93 fuel in it still, but I run 93 and everything. But the guy's comments was how horrible the bike was, and the way he commented, it made me seem like he felt like it was just a horrible bike just because it was Chinese. But I never had any issues with the bike. So my thing was, you know, did his opinion come from personal experience, from maybe owning the bike, riding the bike at all, or was it just influenced by someone else's opinion, which could very well be the case. I hadn't heard back from the guy or nothing, he didn't comment back after I replied to his comment. But I've seen a lot of reviews done on the bike. The one that stands out the most is probably Yami News review he did on the bike. And I love Yami News. And the review that he did on the bike was actually a real great series for Mr. Yami. He put the bike through a torture test. He tested the bike, he drove it, he made some changes to the bike to get it to steer better, and a lot of different things. And at the end of it all, he did a torture test on the bike. Literally, tortured the crap out of the bike. And he didn't have a very high opinion of the bike either, you know. But I guess it depends on what you're expecting the bike to do. Now me, when I bought it, I just wanted to have something that didn't cost but a few $1,000s, you know, a couple $1,000s really, to get back into riding, you know. And it did well for me. I had no issues with it. You know, I just wanted to wrench around on something and, you know, take it out on the road, see what kind of improvements I could make to it. And aside from everything that I did do to the bike, the gains weren't that significant, you know. And the bike still ended up being just, you know, it lacked a lot as far as speed and torque, power, and all of that stuff. But for a price point, you know, what you paid for it, I mean, it was on play, in my opinion, you know. And like I say, I never had any issues with it. But at the same time, Yanni also did a review on my CBR 500. And he don't have a very high opinion of that either. And I must say, the 500, it ain't a whole lot to brag about either, you know. Decent bike, I mean, dependable, reliable. For a starter bike, I think it's pretty decent, you know. But I understand the point he was making about the bike, you know, for the price. But maybe the price is just based on the reliability. I'm not sure. Comfortable bike. Like I say, not very fast. It'll get the job done. Still faster than, you know, most cars. And that's without any modifications or anything. But it just goes to say that, you know, what might not be good for someone else might be great for somebody else, you know. It's just depending on what you're expecting from it. And your riding skills, exactly, because that little 250, man, I took that thing through some stuff, you know, especially once I got used to riding it. You know, it's a slow bike, but, you know, if you ride a slow bike fast, you can have a lot of fun with it. Even with, and the one thing where the deception came in is the bike advertised as top speed of 90 miles per hour. Wasn't true at all. You can order the Speedo DRD to put in there to calibrate the speed and everything, so I had it jam on with the GPS for actual speed. And the highest I could get the bike before I did any of the mods to it was about 74 maybe. The highest I've ever got the bike to go was about 77, 78. You know, so not a whole lot of difference. After spending a few $100s extra to, you know, just wrench on it and stuff. But I still enjoyed the bike, you know. It led me to other bikes, true enough, because I outgrew it. But still a good bike, and I actually miss it sometimes. You know, because especially like this bike, you know, I got a lot of power that I'm not always able to use. You know, unless I'm just getting on the freeway or the highway and just wringing its neck, you know. Now the 500 is more usable because I can still open throttle it in places where I wouldn't open throttle this bike. So it serves its purpose in certain areas, you know. And so did the Boom BD 250. It served its purpose. You know, I could wide open throttle through town on that thing and not have to worry about committing any felonies. You know, would never hit triple digits on it, for one thing. So even if I was speeding, it wasn't that horrible of a fine, you know. But I do kind of wish, you know, before I brought bikes, you know, that I reviewed them, you know, probably would have gave me a little more to think about before purchasing them. But I'm the kind of person that I'm going to get my own take on it. You know, I'm gonna ride it and see how I feel with it. Because just because it's not good for someone else don't mean it won't be good for me. So I get my own experience and make my own choice and decision. And again, like I say, the CBR 500R, I love the bike, you know, because it serves a purpose as well. I switch out from my Gsxr 750 to my 500 often. You know, I ride one week, ride one the next week. Sometimes I ride one day, ride one the next day. You know, I go back and forth with them. And I love going from one to the other one. You know, it's just the difference in them. I got something just hitting my, got to be my strap. So I love the difference in the two bikes, you know. The one I can get on and just wide open throttle all over the place, you know. One, I can't, you know, I have to be a little more conservative with the power and stuff. And that's why I don't ever feel the need to buy a bigger bike. I want a bigger bike, but as soon as I start looking into them and wanting to get one, you know, it just comes back to, well, hell, my 750, when I ride it, I have unused power, you know. So having a bigger bike would just make it more unused power that I have that I can't use. So I think the 750 is a perfect bike for me, for what I use them for. But I guess the message is just, you know, if you into bikes and you looking to buy a bike, it's a good thing to review the bikes, yeah. But you still have to form your own opinion instead of just taking somebody else's word for it. I mean, that helps. Just like the Honda costing as much as it does the CBR 500, for what it costs, you would expect more from it, but doesn't mean it's not a good bike. Just a little overpriced. And that I can't agree with Mr. Yaminu. Very overpriced for what it is. But decent bike. Now, I look like I got my favorite road again, without a whole bunch of traffic this time. It's got some nice curves in it, just some back roads. I'm working on my turning and stuff, yeah. Back to the footage I lost though. Like I say, over the past week I've lost probably a good 90 minutes of footage. Decent footage too, if I might add. Some highway pulls, curvy roads, some lake footage. You know, watching the guys on the jet skis and the boats. Which, you know, that's my favorite ride spot, you know. out to the lake on weekends just to sit and watch the guys playing in the water. Nice Camaro. I gotta get off of them things. I'm gonna end up spending money on one. Not like I need another vehicle, but I do want the SS V8 manual 6-speed, you know. So anybody that know of a good deal on one, let me know. I'm trying to stay away from it, but if I come across one at a decent price, yeah, I'm gonna get it. Me and the wife might have a little headbutt about it, but she loved me. I love her. And I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. You know, got a couple extra bikes, but what if something happened to my main vehicle and it's the rainy season? You feel me? I might need that extra vehicle. What better extra vehicle to have than a V8 6-speed manual transmission Camaro SS, you know what I'm saying? And I am partial to the Chevrolet, so yeah. Only thing in my yard, other than my Japanese motorcycles. Get behind somebody, but at least they moving at a decent pace. Yeah, buddy. But yeah, I hate losing my footage, man, and I messed around and ended up deleting a whole bunch of stuff unintentionally. So, yeah, I was real steaming about that and just broke down. And instead of trying to use my phone to do editing and stuff, you know, yeah, knucklehead. I know he saw me. Just, hey, I'm a car. I go first. That's cool. I won't get too torn up about stuff like that, man. It happens. If you're gonna ride a bike, you have to learn to accept certain things, especially when you're riding in traffic. Cars don't see you as quick, or just don't recognize, hey, it's a bike coming. I don't know why, because I got a running light, stays on all the time. Most bikes do. Can't see the light, then you know you probably shouldn't be driving. And I try to attribute it to some reason, you know, try to rationalize it in some way, and not just say some people are just assholes and don't care about the safety of us guys out here on these bikes and stuff. But as bikers, we have to take some responsibility. I know myself have been in a couple of situations where not only was it the person driving the vehicle fault, it was partly my fault as well, because I might have been going faster than what I should have been going. And if you know you're speeding, somebody they may pull out in front of you. But if you go in the right speed, then you should have time to react to it. But if you're going over the speed limit, and most cases, if you're on a bike, you know, we get a little faster than the speed limit. So you have to take it into consideration, you know, a little bit of self-evaluation, you know. Can't throw rocks if you live in a glass house. I don't know why I said that. That's so cliche. I didn't even mean to say that, but it's true. God, what the hell is that? He's moving too. Started doing about 40 on that thing with no gear on, no nothing, just stand up. No, I got over here quick. So when you're riding, yeah, you got to be on the P's and Q's, and I know just saying it ain't gonna make all the bikers do the speed limit, and which I don't do the speed limit all the time, unless it's just, in a situation where I have no choice, like here, no passing zone, multiple vehicles in front of me. So, I'm not going to cross the double line to pass them, especially as many cars as it is up there. The curvy road, so you have limited visibility. Wow, I can't talk today. Sorry about that. But just stay safe, man. Got me a new little padded jacket thing. Come from Hero Biker. It's like some sheer material with some plastic pieces that connect to it. You can take the sheer piece off and just wear it without it. I'm sure a lot of people know about it. But my regular riding jackets and stuff, with this heat, they're a little bit too hot. I like to ride, but I like to be comfortable too, where I don't feel like I'm just melting. And this actually works out pretty good. Get a good amount of wind when you're riding, cools you off. You can wear a white beat under this thing, But I want to try it out. Feel like maybe I could have went a size bigger with it, but it gets on me. Got the old daddy belly now and stuff, so but it feels good, especially when you get the wind going past you, shaded areas in the sun. It's still gonna be warm, but it ain't as bad as my full jackets that I do have. Eventually, I probably will take the sheer part out of it, but I want to have something, some type of protective gear on. I feel like, riding without any type of protective gear, which I always have my gloves and my helmet on, but riding without any other padding, that's just crazy to me, because you never know what could happen. Some accidents that happen on bikes, it's just no getting away from it, you know what I mean? And you never know when something like that might occur. So if you have no padding on at all, it could be pretty hard on your body. You know what I mean? I ain't no spring chicken no more, so I don't heal as fast as I would when I was in my 20s or 30s for that matter, But you got to think longevity. Especially if you're planning on doing any type of speeds, A slow fall can, skin you up good, but if you're going pretty fast and you fall off, man, you're looking at some serious injuries. If not, unalived, and that would be a bad day. But pretty day to ride, no clouds. It's even got a little bit of wind. It ain't so hot. Watch this guy over here. Let me get up where he can see me.